Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you will consider joining this little soul family that we have going on. And if you are returning, then welcome back, soul fam. Nice to see you again. I hope that all is well. I hope everything is going good, and always wishing you all the very best. Disclaimers and more information is in the description box down below if you are interested. Today, I just want to ask for what message does Spirit have for the collective of people watching this reading. I'd like to say thank you all so very much for being here, for even giving me the time of day at all. I'm going to try to make this reading shorter than most of my other ones, so let's just get right into it. Thank you again for being here. I really, truly, deeply appreciate each and every single one of you guys. So, Spirit, what message do you have for the collective watching this reading? What message do you have for the collective of people who are watching this reading? I'm curious. The Knight of Needles. So the Knight of Swords. Let's see. Oh. I'm just gonna pull the top one. Death in Reverse. The Page of Wands. The Six of Candles. Six of Wands. I'm gonna pull these two. Okay. And underneath the deck we have the Chariot. Alright, let me make sure that all of these cards are in view. Okay. For the Knight of Swords, I have a feeling that there's this energy that you have or someone has around you that wants to communicate something to you, or that there's something that you want to communicate to someone else. Perhaps you or this person, whoever is in this energy, may be conflicted when it comes to coming forward about what they want to talk about. Perhaps there's this negative mentality that they are creating in their own head, or that you may be creating in your own head, being hyper focused on what this person or what you may think. I have a feeling that this person or you, whoever is in this energy, feels like things are going to not really go very well. So I feel like there's something that needs to be said, but I think that there's a fear to speak those words, to speak your truth, and fear that something negative will come from the situation, even though you just want to be honest. With the Six of Wands in reverse, the Six of Wands is about victory. And for it to be in reverse, literally underneath this card, the Knight of Swords, which I was just saying, I feel this person feels, I guess, like a lack of victory in regards to speaking their truth. So I feel like someone wants to come forward and say something, but something is holding them back from saying it. And I feel like it has to do with their own mind, right? Because needles not only symbolize truth or air, but they symbolize also thoughts, right? Now, with the Death card in reverse and the Five of Wands, what I feel is a fear here for this person or you, whoever's in this energy, is that I feel like there's a fear that underneath the surface there has not been changes that have been made in your life or in someone else's life. Perhaps this is someone, a friend, a family member, a love interest who wants to come forward to speak their truth, but is afraid that, if they return or if they bring something up, that it's going to obviously show that you or this other person have not gone through the changes that they need to go through. And I think this really does correlate to exactly what I was saying in this first card. And to be honest, when I was talking about this card when I first started, I wasn't even really paying attention to any of the surrounding cards. I was just saying how I felt. And so for these two cards to pretty much be sharing the same message in a way is it feels like validation that I don't mean to say that this person hasn't made changes, but perhaps there are certain things that have not been worked on, whether that's you or someone else, but it could be mirrored. And again, this card, the Five of Wands, I feel like is in a way showing the same thing as the Six of Wands in reverse. So it's saying that conflict will come from the lack of change, is what I'm feeling. Now, with the Page of Wands over here and the King of Wands in reverse, what I'm getting for the Page of Wands is like you or this person wants to share some kind of passionate expression, but this is the Page, and here we have the King in reverse. So what this is telling me is that whatever this is, it feels like perhaps there have been struggles and challenges that you and this person have been through that have really diminished the flame of passion quite a bit, perhaps. And so this person may want to come and talk to you, or you may want to go and talk to this person about I know that this isn't the cups, this isn't the Suit of Cups, but I have a feeling it has to do with emotion and passion, because passion is something that wands do symbolize. But with the King of Wands in reverse, that does show me that whatever this is that they want to come forward and communicate to you, it may not come out in the fullest version. So what I mean by that is perhaps, for example, this is just an example. Let's say someone really, 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 really deeply, truly loves someone, like the King of Candles, right? This isn't the cups, but again, this is just a scenario. They really, really love someone, but instead of telling that person, I really, really love you, because they're afraid that things are going to go wrong, they'd rather test the water and dip their toes in and say, hey, I kind of like you. You see the big difference. There's a massive difference between I really love you versus, hey, I like you. There's a big difference in that energy. So I do feel that there is something, an energy that wants to come forward with the Chariot here. There's a desire for progression, a desire for a new beginning. The Ten of Presents in reverse, though. Let's see. Okay. I said it's gonna be a short reading. Here I go, pulling a bunch of cards. Let's see. So I feel like there is a desire to move forward, a desire to have this new beginning, a desire to travel, a desire. Again, I mean, both cards here are about travel and about beginnings, about reaching where it is that you want to go. The Two of Cups is about sharing your passion, your emotions with someone, or someone sharing their emotions with you. And I feel like this may be something that is mirrored. I kind of have a feeling that if this may be a kind of romantic situation, perhaps it does not have to be. Take it as it resonates. But there's a desire to move forward, to communicate, a desire to come together. There's a desire for this new beginning and a closing of cycles. And right underneath it, actually, we see it is the Death card in reverse. So there's a desire to transform, negative past energies or whatever situation that this was that caused this death, this ending. It's like this is the ending and this is what wants to transpire. With the Four of Candles, this is definitely showing me exactly what it is I'm talking about. The Four of Candles is about building stability. It is about, it is a card that is seen in terms of twin flame, for example. So perhaps this is a twin flame journey. It does not have to be. Take it as it resonates. You could change the word twin flame, soulmate. It doesn't matter. There's a desire for stability, a desire to come together. And with the 2 and the 4, I really have the sense of this is a very strong connection with whoever it is that this is going on. And I do feel like with the 2 and the 4, that this is something that is being mirrored from you and or this person. The 10 of Presents in reverse is showing me that, again, there's this fear of not having victory, right? Just like we had the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Wands in reverse underneath. So this is reoccurring that kind of message. So what I see here is there's a lot of desire. There's maybe like secret little hope here and there that things are going to change and that things are going to evolve and progress and move forward. But there's still underlining issues or fears that things that have needed to change have not changed. And because of these fears, I do feel that, again, there's this energy of being like, instead of being upfront and telling someone exactly how you feel to the extent that you feel it, kind of playing it down in order to test the water. With the 10 of Presents in reverse, I'm also getting the feeling that, I don't know, reciprocity just popped up in my head. Even though it's not like the 6 of Pentacles or something. It's the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So even though there's this desire for stability and for a new beginning, for moving forward, I feel like perhaps you or this person feels like you won't be able to have this fulfillment of love and stability with someone because perhaps you feel like justice is not on your side, or this person may feel perhaps that they did wrong and that it cannot be fixed. So there's a lot of feeling here that I get of struggling to move away from negative mind states such as like guilt, shame, dishonesty, manipulation, lies, deceit, anything like that. I feel like perhaps this is a situation where there have been things that happened in the past that you and or this person And if it is a twin flame journey, then it is a mirrored thing. Then it is something that both people involved are going to be facing within themselves. There's this struggle to find balance. You know, with the 2 and the 4 is balance and stability. There's a feeling of, man, when is my karma gonna bite me in the ass? Is kind of what I'm getting with this Justice card and the 10 of Presents in reverse. So I feel like this is kind of the mentality of, why should I even come forward when it's probably not even gonna work out? So I feel like you or this person thinks either A, it's gonna end up exactly the same way that it did before, which ended up in the 6 of Wands in reverse, so a lack of victory, or B, is just, you know, too much damage has been done kind of mentality. However, here with the Temperance, here with the Temperance card, I've brought this up before, but every time I see this card, it makes me think of the Death card. And the Death card did exactly come out earlier. With Temperance, it's telling me, oh, and look, there's two potions as well. So this is kind of telling me that there's this energy of, again, a desire for pouring out emotions, right? Because again, cups are about emotions. Pouring out emotions to each other, but fearing that it will end something. So I feel like you and or your person are feeling kind of stuck. You guys may be wanting to share how you truly really feel for each other, but still so caught up in your own heads about the past. I feel like this is a mirrored energy. I don't really feel like it's one-sided. I kind of feel like pulling one more, and then I'll pull Oracle. I'll pull from the top. The 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands. So there is a desire to move forward. I'm noticing the bat here as well. I'm getting this feeling of like searching in the dark, like how certain animals, certain creatures can not necessarily see very well, but they feel the vibrations. I'm kind of getting that there's this feeling that both of you feel like you know, but both of you fight what you intuitively know. I feel like there's a fighting of intuition. Perhaps there's a fear of someone sinking their claws into you, or perhaps this person fears that if they do come forward and say that they love you, that you'll take advantage, take hold, and I saw 1818. Take advantage, take hold, and be relentless. Kind of be very controlling is kind of what I'm feeling. So there is a past here of control, a past here of deceit, a past here and a current position of not really trusting and following and pursuing like what your intuition is telling you. With the 3 always makes me think of the Magician, even though the Magician card is the number 1. There's a desire to create more, right? Again, from going from the Page of Wands, right? The Page of Wands has just this one wand. The Page of Wands wants to have more wands. If you think about it, actually, if the page got 3 more wands, or let's say in terms of energy, they would become the king, right? Because after the page you have the knight, you have the queen, and then you have the king. So I'm feeling, again, there is this desire to be completely honest and come forward and sharing this information. I feel like whether this is you or this person, and I feel like it may be both, Um, I feel like both people or whoever's involved may want to just dip their toes in just to play it safe. But what you and this person may really truly want is to just come forward and be straight up, be blunt and honest about how you feel about each other. So, let's see. Let's get some oracle cards now. Well, again, the Three of Candles I didn't mention is about looking forward, looking ahead, planning ahead, searching upon the horizon. And so again, this is making me have the feeling of a desire to come forward. There's a lot of desire, a lot of passion here that I'm feeling that is beneath the surface and not spoken about. I might pull one more. The Two of Swords in reverse. So the Two of Swords in reverse, I'm getting this feeling again of not wanting to come forward and be straight up and honest about how you feel. But at the same time, I'm getting this opposite feeling. So I really do have this conflicting feeling. And that's what I'm getting. It's like, do I admit how I feel in full capacity, or do I just play it small? Personally, I don't think things should be played small. I think things should be straight up, straightforward. However, everyone's situation is different. So only you can know for yourself like what works for you or what you should do. But what I feel is needed here is to really go within and follow your intuition in trust that what your intuition tells you is where you should go. Follow that. I saw like a split on the deck, and so I split it. Financial health, so perhaps there's fears of finances. Perhaps finances may be in the way of this connection, or whatever this may be. If this is not a connection, perhaps it has to do with a career. So perhaps you want to maybe go for a managerial position or something higher or a different kind of job, but you're struggling because I feel like you're playing it small. Like you have this strong desire to follow your passion to its fullest capacity, like the King of Wands that was underneath. But again, we have the Page of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse. So it's kind of like starting over is what I'm feeling like. Well-being and peace. Let's see what's underneath. Forgiveness. So here with well-being and peace, I feel like perhaps you and this person play it small because you may be fearful that if you really give it your all, I saw 333. If you really give it your all, that you're not going to have your desired outcome. And so I'm getting the sense that instead of even putting yourself out there and just trying and seeing where it goes, that playing it small is really not going to help you transform. I feel like when we play it small, we're still in a state of stress, in a state of not feeling worthy enough. Things of that nature. In this card, I always really notice the light that is coming out of her heart space, right? The heart chakra. So with this card, with the peace and the forgiveness, I'm feeling here there needs to be more healing, more transformation, more seeing into the secrets that you keep from yourself. Even sometimes we may be in denial with ourselves in order to protect ourselves. But we need to forgive the situation, forgive other people, and forgive ourselves when we realize that we have done something wrong, it's important for us to apologize, to admit our faults, but then, to forgive ourselves. When we learn our lesson, it's important to learn the full lesson. You also have to learn to forgive yourself and move on from whatever it is that happened, no matter what it was in your life. Anything. If you wholeheartedly 100% ask for forgiveness and you mean it with every ounce of your being, you do deserve forgiveness, and you need to forgive yourself. And whether someone else forgives you or not is their own problem. Once you do your part, which is learn from it and ask for forgiveness, then you've done your part, and it's time for you to move forward. Like the butterflies, they're moving towards the light of the moon. The moon is known to hold secrets and shadows and things of that sort, but the moon is bright. The moon has its phases. The moon is always changing, but it always comes back to where it was. So what I'm seeing here is, again, a fear that things will go back to the way that they were in a negative way. But there's a need to understand that there are cycles, and it is important to break cycles when we see them, to rise above the negative cycles that we feel, like 0 here above the moon. How I mentioned 333 earlier makes me think of willpower, because the willpower makes me think of the magician. When you know your worth and when you know your power, you're able to have balance within yourself and able to see things more clearly. Perhaps this is a friend or a partner who was once a partner but is now currently just a friend. Perhaps you guys are still friends. I feel like there's a lot that has been left unsaid between the two of you. Or if this is a career kind of thing going on, then perhaps, if you lost your job or something, then perhaps there's a lot that you wanted to say that you never did. Perhaps there's this kind of regret of not speaking your truth, but there's a need to understand that things happen for a reason, and I feel like this card wants to come out. Things happen for a reason, even if we perceive it to be positive or negative. That is just our perception of what it is. We need to forgive ourselves for the things that we have said and for the things that we have not said. However, in any current situation, it is up to us to come forward and speak our mind, speak our truth. It's never too late to speak your mind. I mean, it's better to know how someone really feels than to keep yourself stuck in like what if, well I think this, well I think that. Is like, just stop and just go with how you really truly feel. A win-win outcome is forecast. Take time to breathe out. A time to give rather than to take. And look at the bigger picture. So what I'm feeling here is, how we had the 6 of Wands in reverse, but we did have justice as well. What I'm feeling is, even though you both may be feeling like the 6 of Wands in reverse, a lack of victory, I feel like what you both don't realize is that there's more balance now than there was before. And I feel like even though there may be this fear holding you back from really speaking your truth, I feel like when you speak your truth, at the very least, you are going to feel much better, at least for yourself. And that's what you deserve to do for yourself, is to feel better and to release that stale negative energy. A win-win outcome is forecast is telling me, regardless of how someone feels, know that when you speak your truth, you have won in a sort of way, because you were able to be honest, and you were able to release, the bottle that has what has been bottled up. When we're able to express our truth, we're able to move past us controlling our emotions, which only damages us. It only causes us stress, depression, anxiety, all of these negative mind states that do us no good. And especially in a connection. I saw 30-30. Take time to breathe out is telling me, relax. Don't worry about the outcome of the situation. Just focus on being who you are and focus on speaking your truth. And whatever happens, happens for a reason. And what this is telling me is it's okay to let go of the desired outcome here. And just be real. Just be honest. No matter what happens, when you speak your mind, you deserve to speak your mind. And again, however someone else takes it is how they take it. And I'm not saying to just bluntly, if you have some negative things to say, to just be an asshole about it. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But with this, what I'm seeing again is to have this, to release the fear that things are going to go wrong, like the Six of Wands in reverse. A time to give rather than to take. I feel like this is saying this I don't know why this is coming out so strongly to me. Even though it says a time to give rather than to take, what I'm having the feeling of here is it's important to listen. So if this is the conversation that needs to happen between you and someone else, I feel like you either may feel like it's time for you to listen more than to speak. And if that is how you have been feeling, I think that you are correct. But it depends on how you feel. So again, take it as it resonates. If you feel like, for example, if someone has always told you how they felt and you never expressed how you felt, I feel like this is the time for them to listen and for you to speak your mind. Take it as it resonates, but I feel like there needs to be a balance here of reciprocal energy. And for some reason, again, with this a time to give rather than to take, I keep feeling like this is about listening, which makes complete sense. Because again, like with the very first card, I immediately had a feeling of communication. So I think that is something that is very important to keep in mind right now. Let's see. I'm going to pull from these cards here. And then I think that I will end this reading. I'm trying to learn to be better at doing like reasonably length readings. Tell me what you think. If you prefer it or if you prefer long readings. Really, I don't mind either way. It's just I want the messages to come through, and so if no one really is interested in watching long readings, then no one's getting the messages. And the whole point of me doing this is because I want to share these messages with you guys that come through. So this is the Romance Angels. Okay, let's see what this card says. I feel like let your friends help. And underneath these cards, right, there was the card of friendship. So this is bringing back that element of, this is bringing an element that you're not alone. And if you feel like you need to speak to people and ask for advice, then then that's okay, you know? It's natural to ask for advice from others, and it's just important that we learn to trust our intuition and to discern uh, between good advice and advice that we should not take. Does not mean that we shouldn't hear people out who want to help us and give us their own point of view, but you know, what other people may perceive as the best situation or the best thing to say or to do or how to handle a situation, that's only a reflection of themselves. However, it could give us a perspective in how we could go about handling a situation. So it helps us to open our minds and to see things from a different perspective. But again, I do believe that it is important to trust yourself, trust your intuition and your heart above all else. And the mind, our minds lie to us all the fucking time. Our minds always want to keep us stuck. And so I feel like there's this need to understand that, you know, not to let your mind win. Forgiving and learning. Ask for and accept support from others. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Underneath the deck, we have Worth Waiting For. I feel like pulling 2 more cards. So there is definitely a need to forgive and to move on from a situation. And I feel like that is the only true way. Let's say that there was a falling out in a relationship or something. I feel like the only true way for it to come back to life is for there to be forgiving and learning. I feel like that's really the only way that this will work out again. And I think that there's this fear between you and this person that both of you feel, again with the 6 of Wands in reverse or the Death card in reverse, that there have been lessons that have not been learned, or that you know, things will go back the way that they were instead of progressing and transforming into a new kind of energy. So what I would like to say is, though, if you feel like there's a need for a new kind of energy, then are you a part of that, or are you just expecting that of someone else? In order to have some kind of reconciliation or something of that sort, there needs to be reciprocity. I mentioned how I thought of the 6 of Pentacles earlier. It's making me think of reciprocity. Forgiving and learning is to understand where we have gone wrong, to ask for forgiveness, and to learn from it. But it's also to do the same for other people as well. And I feel like that's the only way that this could really get off ground and the world card to really come into play. I kind of want to see what's here. This could be the one. So I did mention earlier how I felt like this could be a soulmate and twin flame connection. You've already met the romantic partner you seek, a wedding. This situation involves marriage. So I do feel like there is a desire for a higher level of commitment. It does not necessarily have to mean that, okay, we're gonna get married like that, like everything's gonna go perfect. And you know, I feel like this is saying to understand and to take your time, especially with this breathe out card. Take time to breathe out. It even says take time on its own, just like that. So I feel like there's a need to understand that things take time. And even in a reconciliation or something, it takes time to get to learn about each other again, to catch up again, and to evaluate, you know, where you want to take things now. And I feel like there may be a feeling deep down inside that you both feel like, you know, perhaps twin flame energy. and a desire to come back or to have a higher level of commitment. But again, there's so much underlying fear. But I think a way to kind of combat that is to have this kind of playful energy, this youthful energy. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Yeah, to recapture romance. So what does that mean? In order to fan the flames. And I did mention how I felt like there was kind of like a diminishing of flames earlier with the page of wands in the page of wands upright, I'm sorry. The king of wands was in reverse, and I feel like in order to fan the flames from the page, in order to become the king, there needs to be this kind of playful energy. There needs to be forgiveness and learning. And what this is telling me is to stop being in your head and fearing the past in order to move forward. And children, your love life is being affected by children. So what this is telling me is there could be forgiveness and needing to learn and to move forward from childhood trauma. There could be children involved, literally. Maybe you have children. Maybe you and this person have talked about wanting to have children. Perhaps maybe in the future there may be children that come of this. Take it as it resonates. But what this is more so telling me is about childhood wounds that need to be healed, as well as playfulness. So this card is really playing into this playfulness energy. Just because someone has childish or childlike qualities about them does not mean that they're immature. For me personally, I believe that there's a big difference between childish or childlike and immature. Someone who's childlike just has this playfulness, this usefulness, this positivity, this shine, this glow of light. Being immature is someone who is, it has nothing to do with acting like childish. To me, being immature is someone who fights the truth, someone who it's really in denial, someone who wants to be against what everyone else says just because everyone else says it, and I'm gonna do this just because you tell me not to. To me, that's immature energy. I see there's a difference here. If you want this connection to work, I feel that there's a need to open up, to communicate how you feel, to breathe out, to listen to each other, and actually listen, to really truly receive the messages that you're trying to tell each other, and not just like it goes in one ear and out the other. But also, in order to fan the flame, I feel like there's a need for play. There's a need for light-hearted interaction. And I feel like maybe that's something that really disturbed the connection. Maybe that's something, a small part of why it ended, or why the flames started diminishing, is because I felt like this relationship, or this, whatever this scenario was, became really heavy and burdensome on both people. So if you want to kind of combat that, and you want to come back, and you want to fan the flames, and you want, from going to a page of wands to a king of wands, I feel like there's a need for playfulness and lighthearted interaction with each other. Let's see, I'll pull from one of these. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach. It's morning time. It's time for me to have breakfast after this. Blue flame. That card comes out a lot in my readings. Connect to blue flame, which is light of pure love within you. And what I always say, what this always makes me feel within this card is that it makes me think of the violet flame. The violet flame is about healing, and it tends to be of the heart, right? But if you think of the blue chakra, that is the throat chakra, and it's actually interesting. I didn't mention this before, but this card gave me the feeling of the throat chakra with all of this blue. Take time to breathe out. For me, this is saying to speak your truth, to take the time to speak your truth and to pursue that. But there's still need for healing and for sharing and communicating the love that you feel. I'll get one more. This one wanted to come out. Transcendence. Transcend your mind's limitations and allow your soul's light to truly shine. And vision. Trust your ability to create the vision in your soul. So what this is telling me is, again, if you want to transcend, if you want to move past this stuck energy, there's a need to transcend and move past your mind's limitations. Which makes me think of the Eight of Swords kind of energy, right? Where we keep ourselves stuck, subconsciously or consciously stuck, in a situation where we're in a negative loop cycle, in a negative cycle of the mind, which brings me back to thinking about the moon and the world and the death card. There's a need to transcend that and to move away from that. And with the vision, I feel like this is saying, believe that there can be a reconnection, but don't focus on it. You know what I mean? So whether it comes true or not for you, don't focus on the outcome. Just have faith that what is meant to be, and learn to find peace in that. And speaking of peace, actually, one of the cards that came out was peace. I actually didn't even mention much about that, and I feel like that's exactly where this card needs to be. To find peace within yourself, to where whether the outcome ends up in the way that you want it to or not, to find peace in that and know that what is meant to be will be, and what is not meant to be in the moment, it does not necessarily mean that it never will be. It just means in the moment there's more that needs to be attended to and focused on, and you need to focus on your vision. You need to trust your ability to create the vision in your soul. So you need to trust in yourself, trust your intuition, follow it, pursue it, and be honest. With this here, with the Sagittarius, the bow and arrow, it's making me think of the vision, right? Aim where you want to go and make the necessary steps to get there. When we practice something, it's important for us not to practice with the thought of it has to be like it has to be perfect and it has to be like this and I need to finish by this time and blah 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 blah. When you start putting so much stress on the outcome and the end result, you start to diminish the energy that you have to even get there in the first place. Or sometimes when that happens, when we're so outwardly focused towards the outcome versus taking the steps to get there, again, we don't have the energy to get there. And a lot of people, what they end up doing is like, oh, that's too far, they'll never come back, and they'll never forgive me, they'll never blah blah blah, or whatever the case is. People end up being in the Eight of Swords energy because they don't even start. They don't even take the steps necessary to start. And I do see that the Page of Wands is at least a step forward in communicating how you feel, communicating your passion. And I think that's great. And I think you should follow it. And I think based on what your intuition tells you, how you communicate and how it goes, follow your intuition again. Above all else, you know your situation better. You need to follow your intuition. And you need to trust yourself and have peace in the journey. Learn that life is about the journey, not about the destination. We're all going to die eventually. That's the truth. No one can run away from it. No one. But what matters is not where when we're gonna die, for example, is not when we're on our deathbed. It's everything that leads up to that. It's everything that we've experienced in our life. Did you take the opportunities that you wanted to take? Did you put yourself out there when you wanted to do something for yourself, a creative project, or you wanted to communicate? Were you honest? Were you open? Did you communicate? Did you strive towards your vision? Did you forgive people? Were you playful even in situations that were kind of hard? Did you at least try to be lighthearted? I feel like this is all very important. Find peace in your situation. Find peace within yourself. And I guarantee you everything else will fall into place as it is meant to fall into place. The best things will come to you when you are striving to become your greatest version. And to become our greatest version, we need to forgive. I don't believe in holding grudges. And I don't believe that that's going to help anyone become their greatest version. I believe the exact opposite. I believe that holding grudges will keep us from becoming our greatest version. That is energy where we are keeping stuck, negative energy that will only keep us from progressing and moving forward. So, this reading was a little longer than I intended for it to be, but I hope that this resonated. I hope that it helps in some kind of way. If you'd like to, I would love to know. You don't have to be specific, but thank you so very much for being here, for watching to the end if you did, or if you didn't, then thank you anyway. I am always wishing you all the very, very, very best and many blessings, always and forever. Blessed be to all of you. I hope you have a great day. Bye. See you next time. Thank you, soul family.